Alright, guys, let's do this. It's lunchtime again. Thank you for joining me. Today's topic, mentors. Get you some. When I was a younger man, I found myself in a unique position, and to anybody listening to this, all I can do is shrug. If you thought you were there, you weren't. Okay, so there, I said it. When I was a younger man, I found myself in the unique position where I lacked motivational, inspirational male figures in my life. My parents weren't together, and I did, in hindsight, take a pile of inspiration from my father, but I would argue that the bulk of it was passed on in my DNA, like gifted to me in my genes, in my blood. Now, that's a topic for another day, all that stuff. But, guaranteed, if you're here today, you're descended from some pretty tough people. So, take heart and know that you're made of good stuff. You just need to sort your crap out and, focus on the positive. But back onto the mentorship thing. Dad wasn't around really at all after a certain point, and I was quite frustrated. I knew that it was important to have strong, positive male figures in my life, and everyone was just off doing their own thing, right? So I'm not criticizing when I say that, but workaholics being what they are, so I was definitely aware of the idea that you should go out and grind, and I was also aware that being a workaholic wasn't great either. So, how do I define workaholic? Well, it doesn't matter how I define it. What is a workaholic? Workaholic is someone who's addicted to work, right? And someone who's addicted, like, what's an addict? Well, an addict is someone who does something to the detriment of something else, right? Like having a couple drinks is no big deal until it's a problem, right? So same thing with work. Work's great. Be productive. But there's a point where you need to stop and do something else. Otherwise, other important things suffer. Your health, your family, other important relationships. So I found myself in my mid to late teens pretty frustrated about the lack of, positive male role models in my life, and the internet hadn't really come into effect like it is today. So, I found myself working a lot, which is no surprise. That was what was modeled, and I had a lot of energy, I had a lot of drive. I had to channel that into something productive, because I knew that if I didn't, I was going to get into a lot of trouble. And anyone who knows the area I'm from knows a lot of guys got into a lot of trouble. So I'll just leave that at that. So that positive, productive outlet for me was working as a butcher. And I'm very glad that opportunity came along. I'm sure that was probably for the best in many ways. But how does this relate to mentorship? Well, there's two sides to everything. Having a mentor, not having a mentor, and then of course in between maybe you could have some bad influences in your life, but we tend to think of a mentor as someone who is a positive influence in your life. But they could mentor you in criminal pursuits, immoral pursuits. So let's, for the sake of this discussion, just agree that a mentor is somebody who kind of helps you, encourages you, models good behavior, and there's questions for you in doing something that is productive, legal, and moral, and also something that you want to pursue. So earlier on, I alluded that you should get a mentor or more. It's true. You really do need to, just like you need to go out and seek, competent employees, you need to go and seek, nutritional, foods to intake. You need to go out and seek good information to consume. You need to also go out and find the right people to be influences to you. Fortunately for you, you're probably watching or listening to this through the internet. That means that all your problems are over. Sort of. You should go on the internet and you should find people who are talking about the things that you want to learn about, or the people who are ways that you want to be, whether that's fast, strong, fit in general, competent, whatever it is. Find those people and stop scrolling, stop clicking on things that you feel the urge to click on, and just listen. You should watch too, but most of the time you shouldn't be just watching things. You should be doing something. Pardon me. So, I say listen because I listen all the time. I'm always listening to things, listening to podcasts, and I'm learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. Getting other people's perspectives really helps, and it really helps in ways that maybe you wouldn't even anticipate. For instance, you can respect somebody and you can disagree with them. So listening to all these different perspectives, you're bound to find people who are way ahead of you in life that have perspectives that in the moment you're convinced you'll never agree with. Agree to disagree and move on. It's a very healthy thing to have the capacity for. So, find those people and listen to them. I'm not going to give you any suggestions because I don't know who you are, but I will suggest that you find your people and don't just kind of find people. Like if you're into motocross, don't just find motocross people. You need to find people for every facet of life. You need to find people who are going to help you with nutrition. You're going to need to find people who are going to help you with, cardiovascular conditioning, and people to help you with weight training, and people to help you with, whatever your hobbies are, and people to find, to help you get to find people to help you with, investing, different financial stuff, and all the various aspects of managing your money, time management. There's going to be somebody that resonates with you the way the way that you manage your time. All these people will resonate with you for various reasons, and at some point they may stop resonating with you. That's okay. You can outgrow your mentors, right? I found when I was a younger man, I was coming up through the trades and I was apprenticing as a machinist. And not to sound arrogant, but I was very, very enthusiastic about it. And I would go and I would ask the older guys questions, and I would look over their shoulders, and I would just soak up any and every bit of knowledge or information that I could find. And I outgrew their mentorship. That's just how it works. If you have the ability or the desire or the drive to soak up more than is available, then you'll just outgrow it. No big deal, right? But just be cognizant that you can ruffle some feathers in doing so. So you have to exercise some grace and some courtesy, some etiquette in the process, right? So, no big deal. Move on. Stay in touch. It's good to have, people in your network that you respect is mutual, right? So, yeah, mentorship. You're not going to reach your potential without it. It just isn't going to happen. And while we're on the topic, coaches, you need to accept the idea. Yes, I'm telling you this. My etiquette maybe slipped there, but you really do need to accept the idea of you need a coach. everything in your life, coaching will improve. So is a mentor a coach? It could be. Really, it's just, words and actions. Don't get too bent out of shape or caught up in the definitions of these things. Just realize that you need to level up the quality of the people in your life. And how do you do that? Well, first you have to find them. You have to find these people. And then you have to get them to share time with you. How do you do that? Show them that you're using your time well, and they'll share their time with you. I'll say that again. Show them, demonstrate through actions, not words, actions, that you're using your time well, and that will cause them to see you as a good investment for their time. It really is that simple. So don't go saying, hey, can I ask you a question? Just get within their peripheral vision and do. So that's all I've got to say about that today, folks. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you will comment, like, and subscribe, because I'd love to hear your feedback and have, keep this conversation going rather than just a monologue. So without further ado, have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next one.